Thank you for clicking on the video. Welcome back to the channel. This is another review for Real Housewives of Potomac, the reunion special, part 3. Now, I didn't jot notes on this because, listen, it was too much. We gonna just bullet point here. Excuse me. Candace, she comes back from her little meltdown. She and Mo have a few words, some more. Because Monique is really on this. I was triggered. I was, provoked. More of the same. More of the same. Candace even has back and forth with Karen. And see, this situation, I was a little perturbed with Karen. Because, what you doing? Candace sent her a text message, and I'm assuming they had a back and forth. And in this back and forth, Candace, that mouth lethal, she told Karen that she can rot in eternal hell. Karen took it as a threat, and not sure how those were threats, but whatever. Karen proceeded to call Bravo, called the boss. I think that you guys should, get someone to help her. And Karen is standing 10 toes down on that. Karen is like, listen, I did, and I do it again because you were saying things that were very dark. So yeah, I know that in our contract there are people, that work within Bravo that could help you out, therapeutically. So yeah, I called your boss, girl, and I'll do it again. I'm not understanding why Karen thought that was appropriate. I'm having a disagreement with a friend or whatever, and I say some things that, might be a little harsh. You calling the boss. So what, you trying to get me fired? What you trying to do? Because to the powers that be, it might, look like she's unhinged, becoming unhinged, or it might look like she's, not mentally stable enough to, take on, the responsibility that the platform, has. So what was that about, Karen? I ain't agree with that. Not at all. I didn't understand. No, don't be calling my boss on me just because I said something you ain't like. Now, if there had been a threat, then okay. But there was no threat. She just told you to go to hell. People say that all the time when they're upset. Go to hell. Get on the line and call. I'll have your job. Tell me to go to hell. Okay, Karen. Anyway. When they bring the husbands out, Chris Samuels he was a one-trick pony. He didn't have nothing else to say but one thing. One thing only, and that's who started the plot, who came up with the plot, what was the plot. Y'all gonna say it was a plot, He wasn't trying to hear it. He starts to address Giselle, and Giselle's sitting up there with the face, she ain't got nothing to say. You don't speak to me, ever. Girl. And he's trying to explain himself, and I didn't like the way that looked. I didn't like that. It's like that man is trying to express himself. He is trying to get a word out, and he can't because his head is getting chopped off at every turn by Giselle, by Robin, by Candace. Everybody's trying to interject, and it's like, no, let that man say what he got to say. Whatever, regardless of if you agree or regardless of, if what he's saying has some relevance or whatever, let the man talk. So, of course, yeah, and I feel I'm this way. I'm someone that when I feel like I'm not being heard, or I feel like, when I'm communicating with somebody and they're not listening, or somebody's trying to talk over me, I'm going to get loud, and I might stand up too. Okay, so you must not hear me. Let me stand up, because then I'm louder. Let me stand up. And I'm assuming that's what was going on with Chris when he stood up, because it's like, wait a minute. I know y'all see me trying to say something. Please be quiet so I can get what I'm trying to say out. Shut up. They ain't want to hear it. It's like, we don't want to hear nothing you got to say because you still talking about that plot. It wasn't no plot. I don't know whether they were gaslighting that man or not, but nobody wanted to come up off the plot. Everybody was on there was no plot. You're mistaken. Are you delusional? Plot? What plot? Chris brought up the video that Candace did. They didn't even run it back. I'm trying to figure out why. It would have proven that, yes, there was a plot, and that Candace had nothing to do with the plot. It would have proven once more that there was no reason for Candace's beatdown. Because, again, she got beat up because she invited Sharice. That's it, really. Because she invited Sharice around. And maybe it's because it's like you invited Sharice around knowing what she was finna say, knowing that she was sitting on that type of tea, and she would at the first chance she got, she would be throwing it out there because she already was around town. So I get that. It's like, girl, you know this lady spreading rumors around town about me. You know what she said, and you invited her to your wedding or to your party or whatever it was, knowing that I would be there. You know, it's shady. It don't deserve all what she got though. Yeah, but Chris, that's all he had to say all night. The plot. I want y'all to come up off the plot. Tell me about the plot. We gonna talk about the plot. And Andy and all of them. What plot? What plot, Chris? Chris, when they came out, they were it was in between a break, so it was not really. It was kind of lax. They were talking about the Michael Jordan special. Robin, told us that Juan had even played with Michael for a short time. And when Chris comes out, Andy is like, "Oh, we're talking about the Michael Jordan special. Did you see that? Did you happen to catch that?" Chris was like, "Oh no, I was too busy watching people make plots against my family. I was too busy defending my family from the plot." Everybody was like, "Whoa." So we're going there right now. Right now, that's what we're doing. That's what Chris doing. He and Chris Bassett have a few words back and forth. It's not, disrespectful or nothing because the girls go at it. And then, of course, they jump in. And nobody is hearing each other out. More of the same. Then we talk about Robin and Juan and the proposal and all of that. Everybody congratulates her and all of that. And Chris jumps in again. Robin, I want to congratulate you and Juan. Y'all, I like Juan. I like you too. Y'all are a good couple. I'm happy. I'm proud of you. That's good. But the plot. What about the plot? And Robin is like, I don't have nothing to do with the plot, Chris. I know you don't have nothing to do with it, Robin, but the plot. And Robin is like, I am so glad Juan Dixon is not here. I am so glad Juan Dixon is not here. I am so glad Juan Dixon is not here. And Chris over there, the plot. I'm so glad Juan Dixon's not here. Plot. It was crazy. They reared back. We're going to change the subject from the plot because according to them, ain't no plot. It's a whole plot. It was a whole plot. I'm not even going to sit up here and say there was no plot. Now, did the plot play out? Were they able to plot? No. It was just thrown out there. Giselle mentioned that Chris is the reason why we even talking about a plot. He's the reason that anybody even knows anything about all of that because nobody brought it to the show. Chris, they did a flashback and we see where Giselle, and I remember this and I was thinking, that was a little shady. Cause of course, right before this show came on, Monique and Chris did a live themselves and they, let us know what the plot was. They let us know all of that before the show had even aired. And once it aired, it was like, also, Yeah, that's a little bit of shade. She comes in their home to film, Giselle I'm speaking of. And his first thing is, don't the baby look just like me? Yeah, look just like me. And she's like, okay. So we're filming and you bringing that up, so it must be fair game. So yeah, when asked in her confessional what the rumor is, she laid it all out. It is what it is. Chris, like that footage don't lie. I've also heard that all of this happened like 2 years ago. So I'm really confused. 2 years ago? And you wait till this year to want to be this revved up about it? You have been around Giselle, hung around Giselle, been around Charisse at a party, took a picture at a party with Charisse. You've done all of this, but when it's time to film this show, now all bets are off. Now everybody's all upset. Now it's being brought to the forefront. I'm really confused by this whole thing. And I'm so glad that it's over. I'm so glad that it's over. On a lighter note, Ray tells Karen that, he wants to renew their vows. They'll be celebrating 25 years. And he wants to renew the vows. Karen, thank you for saying so. Thank you for saying so. Because I just did not think that we would make it. Thank you. She's all, crying and carrying on. She get up and give him a big hug. It kind of makes the moment happy because they were going at it on that stage. Mainly Chris with this plot. Because he had to get up and leave too and come back. Getting up and leave. I just know I play chess, not checkers. Okay. I think, after the whole vow renewal stuff, Chris Bassett tells Candace, how much how much he adores her and how much he loves her and how happy he is that she's grown from this situation and he can't wait to get his wife back. Blah, blah. It wasn't, not to say blah, 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 but I don't know, verbatim what he said, but he had very nice words to say to his wife. And right after that, here come Chris. I just want to say something to Monique. Baby, you the one. Like, I done seen you deal with this whole situation. People plotting against our family. People plotting against my baby. People plotting against the kids and the family. The plot. You got through the plot. We got over the plot. And I love you so much for it. And then he gonna fake cry. Because I'm not buying none of them crocodile tears. I ain't buying none of it. But apparently he just gonna stand up there and cry and sing her praises too. Because Chris did the same for Candace. The two of them, Monique and Chris, like they were on some, we going out with a bang. We are going out with a bang. And that they did. They end out with everybody, slithering out like Wendy. So everybody slithers out. And that's the end, and that's the wrap of season 5 of The Real Housewives of Potomac. I'm so glad it's over. We ain't got to talk about that fight no more because Monique has announced that she will not be returning. It's unfortunate, but then again, it's like, girl, get your life. You do not need this show. You don't need it. As far as like financially, she doesn't need it. She could use it for the exposure and the platform, to promote her businesses and that sort of thing, but she don't need it financially. So her little Bravo check, like she said, it ain't gonna hurt. It ain't gonna hurt the family. It's going to help the family, though, that she has removed herself from this situation because we all know how toxic reality TV can be, and especially for marriages. And it's probably best that they, part ways. She wasn't fired. She left on her own recognizance. She, saw this whole reunion thing and saw how they edited her husband and her, and, how they edited all of it. And felt like, okay, the girls don't like me, and neither do the powers that be. They don't like me either. And so, what's the point? What is the point? I'm going to continuously be, made to look like, the bad guy, or they was gonna keep dragging her. It probably wouldn't have been beneficial to her storyline or to her brand or none of that had she stayed. So kudos to you, Monique. Go ahead and, you know, venture off and do other things. You can do that. I don't know if there's another, you know, her and her husband could get over there on marriage boot camp. You know, where the reality stars go to die. But they could go over there with that little bit. You know, that's something they can run with, you know? If they was, you know, if they was about that, you know, let's drag our marriage for some piece of coin, you know, kind of thing. And I don't think that they are those people, which is why they're not returning. All right. I don't need, you know, rambled long enough. Be sure to rate, comment, and subscribe to the channel. It's Call Me Busby, and I'll chat with you later. Peace and light.